And we are live. Aren't we?
You
Okay.
haven't shared the live chat record.
I haven't shared the live chat to you. Oh yeah, that's the one you need so that you can see the code. Mm, mm. Oh wow, that's not even cool. Uh, wait. Um, mm, just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, so let me let me do this. Share the live chat to you. Wait. Okay. There's the live share. Do you have the live share?
Yeah, got it.
Very cool. Um, then I think we're good. Can you? I think you can see the code. Uh,
Yes, I can.
okay, amazing. Then I think we can basically walk out the stream. So uh, Marvin can see the code. Everyone can see the code. Just wanna zoom in a little bit more. Oh no, that's way too much. That's way too much. Okay, cool. That's enough. Um, okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
cool. So let's do. Hi everyone. My name is Zach, and my guest today is Marvin.
Can I just see no, no.
I wanted to know if Taylor's terminates you to first come to you before we go.
Okay. Hey people. So Marvin's on a call. We're gonna join. He's gonna join back just shortly. But as he joins, as he gets back to us, this is um, what we're going to do today is just explore a custom Bluetooth low energy application and see how it's implemented. And then we can kind of look at all the considerations that we need to have. And we can also look at all the source code that we need to have in order to implement a custom BLE service. Um, Marvin's going to be our guide for this today. Uh, the effort being, oh yeah, let's make it a full, let's make it a full screen there. And I would like to turn my camera off, and then I don't want to show my. Okay, cool. Just as we wait for Marvin to come
Am
back,
I back on?
you are back on, but your video is not back on. Your audio is.
Oh, on.
Uh, for some reason, it is not. Oh, okay, cool. Just a moment. Uh, um, yeah, your video won't show. We're still waiting for your video to show. We're still waiting for your video. Still waiting for your video. Okay. Just one of my guys again. Let's do this. Let me call you and then I call back. Your video won't start, Marvin. Amazing. So I'm gonna turn off my video.
It's back on.
Yeah, it's back on now. I'm gonna turn off my video. I'm gonna put it this. I'm gonna hide myself, and then I'm gonna turn you on here. Okay, cool. Back once again. Now for sure. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Today we're going to explore the implementation of a custom BLE service. And what we're trying to find out today is what are the considerations that you need? What is the code that you need? How do you think through? First of all, what kind of feature would you do a BLE application to? How do you think through implementing a BLE application? And then what kind of code are you going to implement? So we'll hand over to Marvin just in a bit to explain to us what sort of service you will implement, like the one that we're doing today. And then after that, he'll walk us through the code top to bottom, and we'll understand as much as we can from it and ask questions. You're welcome to ask questions on the chat if you're around. And yeah, so Marvin, tell us just a little bit about yourself, and then let us know what kind of application we're going to be exploring today, and then we'll jump into the code.
Hi, my name is Marvin.
Okay, we lost Marvin again. We lost you. Yeah, this is the nature of working in disparate locations across the world. When your friends work in different countries than you, then sometimes you can't reach them. Sorry, we lost you for like a moment there, Marvin, but we're back now.
Okay, let me try to get a stable connection.
Okay.
So I'm Marvin, the thing, and I'm a software engineer in the embedded space. So I work primarily on embedded Linux, and then
Okay. What we can't consider. We lost you again. Do you wanna do? Do we wanna do this call? No, no video. Would that be better?
yeah, we can try that if the connection will be more stable. Yeah,
Yeah, we can do that.
not
That's
sure.
not a problem.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. Not that. So let's try no video and see what happens. Okay, cool. So no video. Your presenters today is Zach and Marvin, and we're here. Uh, Perhaps I'll have mine on. Marvin's usually on the other side of the screen, but he's not. I think so. Just try for the audio right now. Let's see, Marvin. Yeah,
Hi,
perfect.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Sure, cool. Let's go for let's now go for then I think you can go forward now. We can explore the code and all.
Okay, so basically what we're looking at today is implementing a custom BLE GATT service on using Zephyr. So as we looked last time, Bluetooth GATT is the foundation for a design of any BLE system because it defines the way two BLE devices will interact with each other. Keep in mind that GATT is exclusively used after a connection has been established between two communicating devices, not during the advertising or scanning phases. And so,
what's the significance of that? That it's only used after a connection is successful, rather than when advertising is going on.
That's now, for example, we remember the kinds of devices we had. We had connectionless devices. We had connectionless modes. I mean, which was observer and advertiser, and then we had the connection oriented, where we had the central device and the peripheral.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So for GATT is mostly used for connection oriented profiles.
Ah, okay, I see. I see.
And then in the scenario where we don't need to, we don't need to connect. We can just advertise whatever we want to put from our device. We'll go for now a non-GAT profile.
Okay.
That communicates during the advertising and through advertising and scanning.
I see. I see. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So starting down the code base, we
Okay, wait. Before we jump into the code base, I think the readers deserve some. I kind of want to say they deserve a couple of questions to just so we can set up. So what I want to ask is why. So today we are looking at the implementation of a custom BLE service. So what sort of do you have a sort of general application that would be used? What sort of real world application are we looking when we're implementing custom BLE services? What sort of real world applications are we implementing?
Okay, that's actually a good question.
Mhm.
The BLE standard defines um, a couple of services that a couple of profiles and services that have their UIDs registered with the in the BLE standard, so that every conforming BLE implementation will look at will discover a certain service and say that, oh, this is battery service, this is a power management service, and things like that. But now you'd be in a scenario that you have custom needs. For example, you want to, we have the environment sensing service, right? That's defined. But now you want to, for example, extend it to add a couple of things that it doesn't provide. So let's say it's limited to your needs.
Okay.
These are the scenarios that you may need to implement a custom service.
Okay. Okay.
Let's say you have something new you want to add. That's not. I'm trying to come up with something on the fly. But really,
So it's basically,
let's say you need a humidity service.
Okay.
You need an application that primarily advertises humidity data.
Yeah.
You will need to implement a custom service
Okay.
that does that for you.
Okay.
That maybe now it has a humidity characteristic and a temperature characteristic.
Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. So
Yeah.
we will implement custom peripheral services when we are maybe combining or extending an existing service with the kind of say things that exist that we need more information that currently existing services provide, and this is why
Do
we
not provide.
end up
Yeah.
doing that. Okay, good. So
Yeah.
let's jump into the code, and you can guide us through this, and we can go through it and see what we can learn today.
So I hope you're with me on the conf, where in the K config.
Let me, you know what? Let me first of all just go to, yeah, I'm with you on the K config now. So, because I'm following you now. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So the really beautiful thing I'm finding about Zephyr as I go on and on with it is the simplicity of this. Here, we only need to enable Bluetooth because we need Bluetooth. We need our logging. And then since our device is a peripheral device, it's a device that will be acting as the server that other devices, a central device will need to connect to consume this information. So we enable peripheral. Because it's connection oriented, we want to advertise it with a name that someone will know this is the device I need to connect to consume such and such data. And then we have a Bluetooth device appearance.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all we need to configure our custom service.
Okay, so this is all the necessities that we need in order to get our, how do I say it? Yeah, like there is more settings than this, but these are the bare necessities
Yeah,
that you need in order to build a custom service. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because we don't need any central device that will connect to our device to actually pair and bond with the device. So we don't need any Bluetooth SMP. We don't need the security. So we just want someone to connect and be able to read the data that our service offers.
Okay.
So it's
I see. So
interestingly nice and concise that we can have this bare configuration to get started.
yeah, yeah, it's quite amazing with Zephyr. It comes a lot. It's a very different way of doing it compared to say NatX or compared to say embedded Linux. But Zephyr comes with this. It's a bit of a mind shift, but it's like it's almost like a bit of configuration, quite a bit of configuration. But it's I can see it as a person coming from quite a lot of bare metal development. Like it's you have to think a little bit differently, but once you learn how to think differently, you can go fetch what you need instead of having to build what you need, which is quite awesome. And also,
Yeah,
usually the way Zephyr's abstraction layer is built, if you did build it yourself, you would end up kind of doing it the way Zephyr is doing it. So it's quite cool. I like when they're very dedicated, when the specific devices are actually targeted by themselves, rather than say like a HAL that it uses polymorphism and uses like tries to use code to switch platforms and architectures um, automatically, and that ending up in making it a very hard thing to use. Okay, cool. So I see now we're in the main code. So let's go through this, I guess.
yeah. So we include what we need. We need Bluetooth, we need connection, and most importantly, we need GAT because GAT. This basically we're implementing a GAT service.
Okay.
So remember in which layer we are, in which I'm not sort of layer we are on the BLE stack that we looked at
Yeah,
last week.
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and then
GAT is layer 7, the one that exposes the uh, Bluetooth APIs to our application. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So another important crucial part we need is the UUID
Okay.
because now remember we have the standards defined services in the standard. Those are the ones like for example we looked at the heart rate service, the heart rate monitor service. We have the and ESS, the environmental sensor service. We have a couple of defined services, but remember those defined services use 16-bit UUIDs.
Okay.
And then now, when the standard gives us a way to define our custom UUIDs, our custom services, sorry, using custom UUIDs that have to be 128-bit long.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be okay. So that's an interesting thing. So in BLE, if a service has a 16-bit identifier, it's a well-known service that's in the standard, and well,
Yeah,
or
that's yeah.
associated with the standard. And then if a service has 128-bit identifier, then it is a custom service. So this one sounds
Yes.
quite like CAN to me, because in CAN, when you have an extended identifier, it's 29 bits, and when you have a short identifier, it's 11 bits. But that's cool. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah. So this first part is basically a naive implementation of random number generation, and that's basically us defining our DAM sensor. So this is sort of a sensor to us, a sensor that provides the data that our custom service will be providing to any central device that connects to us.
Okay, I think I understand. So sensor simulation. Okay, cool.
Right. Jump down, we register a log module. Then now we get to the interesting part of starting to define our service.
Enable logs. Okay. Okay, so
yeah, so on defining our service, you can use any random UID generator online that will give you the UID, and then Zephyr gives us this nice macro, the UID and 128 encode that basically encodes this UID that we give it into an array that's little endian, because BLE uses little endian. So the encoding is done for us, which is very neat. So the macro gives us the custom val will be an array of the UID encoded to little endian.
Okay.
Continuing down the next one, we declare the 128 bit. We now declare it. This declaration will give us the struct that is now our custom service, the BTUID struct.
Is that the struct for advertising or is just the struct for identifying?
This is for identifying. Remember, our service gets now known after connection, not during advertisement.
Okay. Because it's okay.
Yeah. On the next, we do the same thing with at this point, we necessarily don't need to generate another UID. If you notice, the last value here, I've just incremented it by 1 to become our characteristic value. Okay. So remember, a characteristic is a part of a service that represents a piece of information that we want to expose to a connecting client. So this will be the value that our naive sensor up there will be exposing.
Okay, before we go on, I want to repeat that so that because this is kind of the reason we're doing this stream. So a characteristic is the part of the service that represents the information we want to share. So basically, if we have a humidity a service that okay, when we have a heart rate service, the characteristic for that service is the heart rate values. Those are the characteristics? That is the characteristic, the heart rate. Okay.
Yeah. So, and a little bit later in the code, we'll see that a characteristic also contains a couple of attributes. So attributes like properties that will represent the number of bits that the value can be used. And then, so that would be things like read write, write without response, there's notify, there's indicate.
Okay.
But we want to go.
Okay. So a characteristic also defines how you interact with it, basically, and what you're allowed to do when you're interacting with it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's nice.
And then it has descriptors which are used to relate information about now the characteristic value types that we've talked about up there. So the first one was properties and now descriptors. So descriptors is basically more information about the properties, in short. So for example, if we have a value like temperature, in the descriptors we can have
Whether it's
a
Kelvin
we can
or
have something like a unit of the value. So for
yes.
example, temperature, the descriptor will have it's in Celsius. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So at so the same thing, we use the declare to now declare the value.
Okay. The value of our characteristic now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can leave out is fine because at this point we don't care. We really don't care about the connection state because we.
Okay. Cool. You're free to
Okay,
delete.
so we have our.
If we're not going to use them, we might as well delete them so the code becomes really tough. So there's nothing to
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we have the BLE ready, which just records for us the state of our of our Bluetooth initialization. Is Bluetooth ready so that we can start advertising, or it's not ready?
Okay.
So we can sort of go into a loop until it's ready, and then we can do an advertisement so that any central that wants to connect to us can come us and find us.
Okay.
So custom value is just something that will be recording our sensor value that we need to
So this is just a variable.
provide. Yeah, just a variable.
Variable. I can call it a variable or a variable or buffer to hold our reading
Yeah.
info. Okay. Cool.
So read custom characteristic is prototype for call for the callback function that we will provide to our service definition to be reading the value that we need to be that Bluetooth needs to be sending or giving to the central that is connected to us.
Okay. Okay. I see. I see. I see. I see. This
We
is
look at the definition later.
yeah. Cool.
So now we define our advertising packets. Remember BT data bytes macro basically just helps us define the BT data tract.
What
So
does an advertising packet have?
so the advertising packet will have the services we offer. Remember, some at the advertising point, we won't be able to read the data, but we'll know what service is offered. We'll know the name. We'll know connection parameters, for example, intervals of advertising. There's a bunch of data in the, but that's just some of them. And so in our case,
the advertising packet is sort of metadata about what this service has, sort of.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So here we enable BLE. That's BLE, the macro BLE at general, and we don't need anything from classic Bluetooth, and we make sure we've turned all that off because Zephyr has some parts of classic Bluetooth implemented.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we also advertise our custom service. So if you notice, we use the 128 UID bits, so that's our custom service. If you look at other examples on the Zephyr sample, for example, the heart rate one, you'd notice this is 168 old, and those are the predefined services that the standard offers.
Okay,
and then lastly, we advertise our name. So
our service name.
yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
It's
Okay.
not necessarily our service name, but the name of our of our device, I guess. Because the beauty of it is our device
Do multiple
can
services in it.
yeah, we can advertise multiple services.
Okay, so the name of the device is basically the Bluetooth server that a client needs to connect to.
Yeah.
Almost like. Okay, cool.
Okay, so come to defining the service. Is pretty neat and short and not very complex. So we have the that service define macro.
Okay.
Also just builds the service struct for us. So the first part is we give it a name of our service, which is custom service. And then we have types of services. We have our primary service, which is basically primary functionality of the device.
Okay.
So, and then we also have secondary services, which are just auxiliary functions that a BLE device may offer. But we basically ought to include secondary services, but with at least another primary service on the device. But it's rarely, don't think it's ever used, because most of the times you can define multiple primary services on one BLE device. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's amazing.
So next we go to defining our characteristic.
Mm-hmm.
Also another macro that builds the struct for us easily. So we have our characteristic UID, and then now we come to the properties we are talking about. So this is, we have read, we are giving it the read property and the notify property. You can also have write, but we don't want to write our sensor values. We only want to read the sensor values.
Okay.
Then now that's here where we have characteristic. Its property is read and notify, and then now we give read permission. And the next we give it is the callback, the function to read the value. Next would have been the function to write, but we don't have that.
Okay.
Yeah. So those parts we leave as null and null. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So far this is good. So this defines the service. This basically now builds up the service with some of the stuff that we've defined earlier, and it uses all of this information to build up the service that we're now looking at.
Come again?
No, I'm saying now that our service is defined, where do we go? Basically.
Oh, yeah. So last point we saw was the last crucial thing is now defining the function that the function that we saw the prototype earlier, the read custom characteristics function. It's a function that's type def, and we have to the RX thread of Bluetooth really needs this function to be defined this way with the proper parameters and everything. But then again, remember this function is read in that RX thread, so you really need not to do a lot inside it because it would block. So maybe think of it as an interrupt, do things as quickly as possible. And if you need to do more things, you can leverage those things and do them somewhere else.
Okay.
Because it would block your read. Yeah. So important parts we have to note is here, and then we give it the size of our custom value. So Bluetooth get attribute read. So basically read our attribute, and then around the same thing for, I think that's a simple implementation of that. We just need our Bluetooth to read the current value of this.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then I see we have a function here. We have an error checking function.
So there's the checking function that we give to BLE enable so that we can report our connection is our Bluetooth has successfully been initialized, and also set our flag that we're using to check that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we now tie all of this together into an application? Oh, wow! It's like a it looks like a
we have
ten-line
now.
thing. Quite simple.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, cool. So what's happening in the main now?
Okay. So the main is pretty simple now. We have everything set up, so we just enable our Bluetooth stack. Give it a callback function. Our flag will be set when BLE is ready.
Okay. Oh, and that's why you basically walk into this loop. Basically, you're checking if BLE is ready. You log if it's not ready, you log out, and then you wait for a few milliseconds, and then you go again and you go again until until
we should actually have it as a while. Sorry,
even the if it should be a while because then it will hold or something.
Yeah.
Or it could be an if, and you could. I mean, if you have other. If you have other services that you're building for, it could be an if, but in our specific case right now, it is a while. That's not a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when Bluetooth is ready, all you can do now is advertise our device, our BLE device. So we give it our array of the advertising packets that we defined earlier on. And we only have our we don't advertise much, so we can advertise we can do extended advertising where we also have this part where it's null, another set of advertising packets, and
how many we have.
But since we don't have that, we just have a null and a zero.
Okay, so at this point, so here, so up here we are initialize BLE, and then here if
advertise device
ready, advertise device and services.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else now?
So at this point where we've advertised. So the Bluetooth stack will now we could have handled we could have registered callback functions to handle to inform us and handle some scenarios. For example, for connection, you want to do something. We could have done all of those. We can notify, indicate all those properties. We could register callback functions to handle that for us. But at this point, we wanted the demonstration to be simple enough and straightforward.
Yeah.
So at this point, the BLE stack will handle connection and everything for us.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
this
the next
connects to the
steps after
device,
that.
and then I see if it.
Sorry.
So I'm just reading. So if this connects to the device, and if it doesn't manage, it will log. But if it does manage, I see a seed is set, and then we go into a loop where we every 2 seconds we are generating a new seed, and we're using that.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Okay. Okay, so while we wait for the stream to have questions and such, let me try and build this application, and let's see if it shall build. West build. Yep. Let's see if it does build. Yep. Oh. No, I think I know what I did.
The comments on the cons again.
Yeah, but there's somewhere I did it. Not. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like this last one. I've sort of come to discover that the hard way. Zephyr doesn't like a comment on the last line in the kconfig usually. You can have comments everywhere, but if you have a comment after the last line on kconfig, it will explode.
Screams at you.
Mm. Perfect. Okay, so do remember I am using the NRF. I'm using the N. Where is this reply? I'm using the NRF dongle. So the significance of me saying I am using the NRF dongle means with Zephyr, I have to rebuild. I have to package this. I can't just use. I can't just. Let me clear so it's visible because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be in the block part of the state screen. So NRF, I'll have to package this into So let's call this custom BLE. That's it. Okay. And then as it packages, let me put my NRF dongle into bootloader mode. Okay, we're in bootloader mode, and I think I did custom BLE.zip. So now I can do NRF, the shorter one, and then this can be custom BLE, custom BLE. And then I believe we can check what device this is by going all the way to USB. It should give us the right device. And then I will flash this now. Let's see if that gives us anything. In the meanwhile, I will check questions. If anyone has any questions, you want us to find out anything, or you have any questions for us, do let us know. We're more than willing to answer them. We like questions, and we're more than willing to go find out. In the meanwhile, let's let this thing build up and deploy to the device so that we can see. I know if I do something like, I wonder if I do this, will that make it more visible? I don't know. Okay, it's building. It's building into the. It's flashing onto the device. Amazing. So we didn't because in an effort to keep everything simple, we did not put a device indicator like a blinking LED. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into my BLE application. I have a BLE application, and I'm going to see if I can find any. Yeah, yep. So Marvin, you'll have to look at the screen and tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
But if you so if everyone can see, there's a custom BLE service there. I can actually do this, and then I can do that. So now you can see a custom BLE service. Hopefully, my screen went off. So
Yeah.
there's a custom BLE service there. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, there, the last one at the bottom. I will connect to this service. I will connect to this service. It's connecting. It does connect it to the service. Now it gives me a custom service at the bottom. Services. It says services at the bottom. If I open this, I think we can get at the top now. I can go and say read value, and you'll notice that every time I read values, every time I read a value, uh, I'll get more values. Yeah, you can see the list. Unfortunately, we have to figure out how to do this, but if I read the value, you can see the list increment. Yeah, that's 3 now, 4 now. Now, every time I'm pressing read value, we're getting a random number from the BLE service that Marvin just built for us. So that is custom BLE with Zephyr, and so what did we do today? We explored building a custom BLE service. And why would you build a custom BLE service? You would build a custom BLE service if all the existing if the existing services don't serve what you need. And then when what you would do is you would need to build a custom service to extend either an existing service or to come up with a complete new greenfield service that allows you to deliver data as you want. What have we gone through in this stream? We went through what it is, what a custom service is, how to build one in Zephyr, what are the key points, what are the key steps that you're going through as you're building a service in Zephyr, and we tested and we ran the service. Yeah, Marvin, do you have anything to add? I wonder if your video is working now at the end, so we can finish this off. Do you have anything else to add for this stream? I'm really glad because I actually actively have not looked at BLE so that I can do these streams and ask questions like someone who does not know. I'm familiar with Bluetooth, but I'm not familiar with BLE. It's a sub. It's almost a sub or a superset, if you want to call it as that. So um, the thing I'm getting from this is as I followed you through the code and as you explained the code line by line, I think I'm quite comfortable and I can go sit down and implement a BLE service by myself right now, especially in Zephyr. I don't know if you have anything to add while I check for questions and such, and then we can conclude this one. It's been a good one.
I think that's it, and it's worth mentioning that for the services that are what's it called that exist in the specification document.
Yes.
And BLE has done it in such a way that for developers to implement their own and ensure conformance with the standard, and how Zephyr has done it, it's so easy. Like we've done this in less than
half an hour because I think we were talking for quite a bit there.
yeah, less than 100 lines of code, you know.
Yeah, less than for sure 100 lines of code. Yeah, if you add
Yeah.
without comments, it's something like 98, 96 lines of code. So yeah, less than 100 lines of code. Yeah. But you see, usually when there's a lot of tooling like this and you can do something really quickly, I find a lot of those situations become really confusing because I can imagine if someone didn't understand Zephyr and they didn't understand Bluetooth and they wanted to do this, it would all look like it would look like 100 lines of code, but it would look like 100 lines of code where every token. Marvin likes implementing compilers, so every token is going to look like this is a whole project in itself. How do I go find it out? But I think the way we've
Yeah.
discussed this and the way we've broken it down and the way Zephyr offers to do stuff is I'm really liking Zephyr in terms as a more so as a framework before I even start liking it as a RTOS system, to be honest. But like, yeah, in all, this is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything else to add before we kick off? Before we
Uh,
finish it up?
that's it from my end today.
Ah, awesome. So yeah, thank you people for coming to this stream. This was Zach and Marvin today. We couldn't have Marvin on video, though we had bandwidth issues, but that's okay. We still delivered. Um, yeah, let us know what you would like us to break down and check out next. And this series is becoming quite fun. For those ones who watch the end on Saturday, I'm doing a stream with Felix Biego. He does LVGL stuff. And on Sunday, I'm doing a stream, an engineering hour session with the dev heads, and we're going to be looking at digital signal processing with FreeRTOS. Uh, Come on, come all, let's have some fun and see you all. Great thanks and a lot of appreciation for Marvin and his guiding today. And cheers. Till next time.